I'm giving you the summary once again. I'll be showing you 3 videos for your information. Your task will be that you'll be writing a 2-page report on any one environmentalist. You'll be writing it on pen and paper. You have to scan it and submit it on Google Classroom. So this is the instruction. Yes, tell me. Yeah, the lectures will be uploaded on LMS eventually, so don't have to worry about it. Okay, but for now I will be sharing it. No worries. I'll share it with you. Last class I have just started with the subject, so there was only one PPT. I will share it. No worries. Anything else from anyone? Okay, so let's look into the videos now. If you have any issue regarding audio and video, just let me know in the chat box. I'm starting it now.
To be water, soil, air. Human beings have skewed their relationship with these wonderful gifts. We now have environmental issues, especially in some parts of the world, which are very severe. And what we do at our Center for Environmental Science and Engineering is to pick up some of these issues, bring in our fundamental understanding of physics, chemistry, maths, biology, and engineering to come up with solutions to control these problems.
Water is a finite resource. Only around 0.5% of Earth's water is available in the form of fresh groundwater and as surface water in rivers and lakes. Today, many of our water resources have been severely depleted and their quality has deteriorated. The causes for this are rapidly growing population, urbanization, industrialization, and agricultural development. Research at CESE include developing various physico-chemical and biological processes to treat contaminated waters, exploring natural treatment systems such as constructed wetlands to treat municipal wastewater, and understanding the filtration mechanisms of contaminants in soil.
We are looking for different technologies like photocatalysis, advanced oxidation process to remove the emerging contaminants like pharmaceuticals, pesticides, and other industrial pollutants from water and wastewater.
One of the major environmental issues which our cities are facing today is how to manage its solid waste. As of today, 1,000 tons of this waste is dumped in the cities and nearby areas, which is causing air and water pollution. We look at this waste as a resource, and we are working on technologies to generate useful energy from this waste and recover valuable materials.
Another key aspect of our research at CESE is to understand what air we breathe in and how it affects us, and how can we achieve clean air. We have established active links with various agencies to monitor air quality at various locations through satellite data as well as ground-based monitoring stations. We have recently developed air cleaning device, Vayu, which has been commercialized and it has been deployed at multiple traffic intersections in Mumbai.
Global climate change has become one of the most discussed environmental issues in recent years. However, our understanding towards it is very limited. We at CSE work to know different precursors of the climate change. Along with it, we have developed various mathematical models to know the mathematical dynamics of the system. We have significantly contributed towards knowing the effect of climate change on Indian monsoon.
Land is required for growing food crops, for transportation and housing. However, it is limited whereas the population keeps on increasing with the ever-increasing demand in food crops. Therefore, to tackle this problem, people started using toxic chemical fertilizers such as DDT to increase the agricultural yield. However, this also creates a severe problem for the ecosystem as well as the human health. We at CESE are working towards increasing this knowledge base on various fronts of water, land and air to create a more greener and healthier environment.
We have people from multifarious disciplines and backgrounds such as civil engineering, chemical engineering, biotechnology, environmental engineering, microbiology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, so on, working on various contemporary and challenging research problems associated with environmental pollution and its degradation.
And one hopes that over a period of time, we would be able to set up systems in which we do not cause these problems in the first place.
At Infosys, we believe whatever we strive to do has to be done with due respect to what surrounds us. Safeguarding nature is a fundamental responsibility to us. That is why we designed our Mangalore campus to be intrinsically green. A decade ago, when we built the campus, we promised to transform the land into a living rainforest. Through rainwater harvesting, we made the water walk through our campus, not run out of it. We planted native trees in ultra-high densities. From an open, exposed laterite landscape, we built the foundation for nature to take its own course. Today, the campus is a home amidst a forest, with trees that are so rare, and wildlife that flourishes like it were a pristine rainforest. The water we worked so hard to preserve returns back. There is enough to flow through our campus and provide for our neighbors. At our Mangalore campus, the respect we show to our surroundings has paid back, because nature has come to live among us.
This is all of the trash that I've produced in the past 3 years. When I say that, people think that I'm crazy or that I'm lying, or they'll ask me questions like, hey, so how do you wipe your butt? I live a zero waste lifestyle, and I have for the past 3 years. Now, zero waste, that's a pretty big idea, right? So let me define it for you. To me, living zero waste means that I don't make any trash. So no sending anything to landfill, no sending anything in a garbage can, and no spitting gum on the ground and walking away, right? No trash. This is a big concept. And this all started when I was an environmental studies student at NYU. My senior year, I was taking a course called the Environmental Studies Capstone course, which is essentially the culminating course that all environmental studies students need to take in order to go out into the world and make it a more sustainable place. Well, there was a girl in this class, and every class she would have this big plastic bag with a plastic clamshell full of food, a plastic fork and knife, a plastic water bottle, and a plastic bag of chips. And she would eat all of this, and then class after class would just throw it in the trash. Now this was really frustrating, because here we were, these environmental studies students, trying to make the world a better place, and there she was, throwing all of this stuff into the garbage. One day after class, feeling still particularly upset about watching her throw everything away, I went home to make dinner. And I opened my fridge and noticed something that I had never seen before. Every single thing in my fridge was in one way or another packaged in plastic. And I couldn't believe it. You know, I was getting so mad at this girl for making so much plastic trash, and it turns out that I was just as bad. I was that girl. And so I made a decision in that moment. I was going to stop using plastic. Well, quitting plastic. Not so easy of a thing, right? When you think about your everyday life, you wake up in the morning, you go into the bathroom, and you brush your teeth. What is your toothbrush made out of? Plastic. What is your toothpaste probably packaged in? Plastic. Your face wash, your moisturizer, your contact solution. So many things that are in our everyday lives come packaged in plastic. And so I realized that if I was going to move away from plastic, the only way that I was going to be able to do that was to learn how to make my products myself. Well, I don't know about you, but I certainly didn't know how to make deodorant and didn't have the recipe just kind of hanging out in my back pocket. And so I realized that I had to do some research. And while I was doing research online, I came across a blog called The Zero Waste Home, started by a woman named Bea Johnson, who's a wife and mother of 2 kids out in Mill Valley, California. And the 4 of them live a completely zero waste life. When I learned about Bea and her family, my mind was completely blown. I thought that I was doing the best thing that I could for the planet by not using any plastic. But the idea that I didn't have to produce any trash was so empowering and so inspiring. And it made perfect sense, right? Because I was this environmental studies student, I cared about the environment, studied sustainability, talked about sustainability, protested for sustainability. But I realized that I wasn't actually implementing any of those values into my day-to-day life. And so I made the decision to go zero waste. So let me break it down for you and tell you about some of the things that I did in order to make this transition a little easier. The first thing that I did was I stopped buying packaged food. So instead of going into the store and buying things packaged in paper and glass and plastic, I started bringing my own jars and bags to the store to fill with bulk or package-free items. I also started buying my fruit and vegetables from the farmer's market, so package-free. The second thing that I started doing was I started making all of my own products. Before I started living this lifestyle, my boyfriend at the time used to brush his teeth using baking soda. And I thought he was probably the grossest person in the entire world, right? There's no way that you could possibly get your teeth clean using something like baking soda. It's gross. Well, fast forward, and it turns out that the first product that I made was toothpaste made with baking soda. So over time, I started making all of my own products. When I would run out of something, instead of going to the store and buying a new one, I would learn how to make it myself. So when I would run out of lotion, I learned how to make it myself. run out of deodorant, learn how to make it myself. Over time, all of the things that I had previously purchased were now ones that I made myself. The third thing that I started doing was shopping secondhand. So instead of buying new clothing and putting new waste into the waste cycle, I would buy things that were totally recycled, secondhand, so not making any new trash. The fourth thing that I did was I downsized. So I focused on having only the things that were truly necessary and that I really needed. Well, this was really, really hard because I'm the kind of person who's really sentimental, and I can tell you as to why a toothpick needs to be in my life. But after I really got through that process and I completely downsized, I realized that I had so many fewer things in my life, my home was less cluttered, and everything was easier to clean. And when you have fewer things, you realize that you take better care of them, right? So when you take better care of your things, you don't have this mentality like, oh, if I don't want this anymore, I'll just throw it out and get a new thing later. No, I only had a few things, and so I took care of them and wasn't sending anything to landfill. All this must sound pretty difficult, right? I assure you, it's not that hard. I'm just an average, lazy person, and I wouldn't live this lifestyle if it was difficult. In fact, the benefits of living this lifestyle far outweigh any of the negatives that you could imagine. The first benefit is that I save money. So I save money when I buy my food and the products, and when I make my own products, because I'm not paying for the embedded cost of packaging, so things are cheaper. I'm also saving money by shopping completely secondhand, because secondhand clothing is usually less expensive than new clothing. I'm also saving money because I've downsized, and so I don't go shopping all the time now and just buy things on impulse. I only have what I really need. The second benefit is that I eat better. When I go shopping now, I don't have the option to buy processed food products package-free. And so now my diet consists of things like fresh fruit and vegetables, or bulk grains and nuts that I buy with my jars and my bags. And so when you eat better, you feel better. I've noticed that over these past few years, my weight has stabilized, I have more energy, I need less sleep. And when you're eating better, and you feel better, and you save money, you're happier. But besides those things, I'm happier because for the first time in my life, I'm living in direct alignment with my values. And why is this important, right? Waste. Well, waste is a really big problem. In fact, the average American person produces approximately 4.4 pounds of trash per person per day. Over the course of a year, that's like taking 8.5 of your best friends and throwing them in the trash. Don't do that, it's not nice. So if you care about your friends and you don't want to throw them away, and you think that it's possible for you to possibly reduce how much trash you're producing, I have 3 simple steps for you. The first step is to actually look at your trash and understand what it is, because you can't solve a problem of having a lot of waste until you know what it is. So when I did this exercise, I realized that I had 3 main sources of trash. The first was food packaging, and so I learned how to shop in bulk or package-free. The second was product packaging, and so I learned how to make all of my own products. And the third was organic food waste, and so I learned how to compost. And just by identifying those 3 sources of waste and eliminating them, I had reduced my trash by about 90%. The second thing that I like to suggest is picking at the low-hanging fruit. So doing little things, one-time changes in your everyday life that have a large-scale and long-term positive impact. This includes things like using a reusable bag instead of a plastic or paper bag, or using a stainless steel or glass water bottle instead of buying plastic water bottles. Over the course of, however long, you realize that these little changes actually add up and make a big difference. The third thing that I like to suggest is the DIY, or actually learning how to make your products yourself. Now, I absolutely love doing this because when you go to a store and you have to buy products, you kind of have to settle and accept them as they are, right? If you don't like the way they smell, too bad. If you don't like the way they feel, sorry. If you don't like what they're packaged in, you don't have a choice. But for me, since I make all my own products, if I don't like the way they smell, I change the scent. If I don't like the ingredients in them, I change it. If I don't like the packaging, it's my choice. And so by making my own products, I have complete control over what I'm putting in my body. Now, I started living this lifestyle while I was still in college. And when I graduated, I had a real job, a real person job, in sustainability, which is exactly what you'd think I'd want to be doing, right? Well, at the same time, I was still running my blog, Trash is for Tossers, and I noticed that I was getting a recurring question. And it was something like this. Dear Lauren, I absolutely love the products that you're making, and I too want truly natural products. But because of life, family, friends, blah, 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 I just don't have time to make them myself. Do you have any products that I can go out and buy that are equivalent? Thanks for your help, lots of love, person XYZ. So I went to stores and I started looking at products. And while I found that there were beauty products that were reminiscent of the ones that I was making myself, I didn't notice the same trend for cleaning products. When I looked at the ingredients of cleaning products, even the natural cleaning products contained ingredients that were really harmful, things that were carcinogenic and endocrine disruptive. You know, when I looked into it further, I learned that cleaning product manufacturers aren't even legally required to disclose the ingredients of their products on the product packaging. And so when we go and buy a product, we're at the complete mercy of the company, hoping that they have our best interest in mind. I feel that we, as consumers, have a right to products that are transparent and that aren't bad for us. And so I started thinking about my own products, the ones that I've been making for years, that are safe and effective and have ingredients that I use to do things like brush my teeth or make salad dressing. And I realized that I had an opportunity. And so I quit my job and started a company because I feel like we, as human beings, have a right to products that are safe for our homes and our bodies and the environment. I get comments all the time that I'm doing this for attention. But I live this lifestyle for myself. I would never tell anyone how to live or how much trash that they should produce. I just want to provide tools through my blog and my business for people who, like me, want to reduce how much trash they're producing. I live a zero-waste lifestyle because, to me, it's the best way I know how to live a life that aligns with everything that I believe in. And what's the point, right? I'm just one person. What difference can I make? The point is simple. I want to be remembered for the things that I did while I was on this planet, and not for the trash that I left behind. Thank you.
Okay, everyone. So this video was very interesting. So can you tell me which of the 3 videos tells us about any environmentalist? इनमें से कौन सा है? I told you.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, that's correct. The last one. So the thing is, you have to take up her as your, yes, Lauren Singer. So maybe her or any other environmentalist that you would like to choose, you can do that. And you have to write a 2-page summary report on that person, the background of the person, what kind of challenges they took up, how did they solve it, what is the present status. You can write about all those things. Yeah, there are many, actors also doing such kind of work. There are other people from, recently, if you look into the Padma Awards news, you will also find some environmentalists over there also. There was one from Karnataka. I just looked it up today. So you can take anyone, any person, and you can write about them. Okay. You will see the instructions on Google Classroom very soon. So you have to fill it up, and you have to basically write it on pen and paper, scan it, and then upload it on Google Classroom. The instructions will be there on Google Classroom itself. Okay. Any further queries, you can text me.
No, sir.
Okay, rule number 29. Just a minute. Rule number 29, you were supposed to join T1 batch, not this one. You are from T1 batch. Okay. Right now you have the Google Classroom link for T1, so you are from tutorial 1 batch, not here. That's okay, I have taught the same thing that class also. Did you receive the WebEx link for T2? That should not have happened. Let me check it. Number 29, no. You are in tutorial 1, not here.
Sir, where will we get Google link? Google Classroom link.
Yes, can you repeat?
Sir, where can we get the Google Classroom link?
Where can you get?
Google Classroom link.
That will be in your email. Check your email. I have already sent you an invitation, so you can see it over there.
Okay, sir.
Okay. It has to be a report, so not PPT. It will be a 2-page report. Okay then. I have sent you email on your Nirma University email ID. So you should check it there, Yash.
Yes, sir, I found it.
Yash, have you not got it yet? Okay, I'll look into it. Just a minute. Just a minute, I'm checking. Yes, I will be checking it up and I will let you know. Okay, whatever the issue. Just put an email on to this email ID that I'm giving you now. I will take a follow-up. Okay, don't worry. Let's look into what happened. Others, you can all leave the meeting. Yes, just put an email mentioning your issue that you have not got your email. I will actually your name is not there on the list, so that's why it's happening. So I will take a follow-up on that. You can email it to me right now. Okay, then you all can leave the meeting. Yes, tell me. Yeah, I will send it. Okay. It's a simple pen and paper write-up, nothing else. You can write it in paragraphs. No other format. No specific format is there. Okay. No other notes are there, only PPTs. So I'll be uploading the PPTs on Google Classroom. Okay. Okay, then we will all again meet in the next.
Sir, I also not received the mail.
You can drop an email